Hello, this is Jack from Fluency.com and welcome to this Happy Friday lesson where I'm going to talk about bodybuilding and how this relates to learning English. Now, near the end of this presentation, near the end of this lesson, I'm going to give you some really good tips so that you can apply what we're going to talk about here to your English studies. So if you are somebody who wants to go from a B1 level, a pre-intermediate level, to advanced, or intermediate to advanced, or even beginner to advanced, then this lesson is really going to help you. So I'm going to talk about give you lots of examples with things that you can do in order to improve your English. Now, if you are new here, welcome to you. My name is Jack. I am the owner of this channel. Now, while you're here, I have a free gift for you. It's the 5-step plan for English fluency. It's my book. And you can download this for free by going to the description, clicking the link, entering your details, and I'll send that book to your email address. Okay, so we've got quite a lot to go through today. It's great to see everybody here. I'm just going to share something. If I go here, you can see me. Hello. I'm a small English teacher in this bottom corner. But there are 3 things to do. Okay, firstly, smash that like button or just simply tap it. But make sure you click it. Okay, click the join button if you want to become a member of the Fluency YouTube channel. There are 2 ways you can join. You can join the lower tier and you can join the higher tier. The lower tier is a way for you to support the channel and also to get a little fancy thing next to your name in the comment section. And then the higher tier, it's going to give you some perks. So just click that button to join. We've got a couple of members here already, Lolly and Denise. Denise, great to have you here as a member. And then the last thing is to watch more lessons after this one. So after we complete the presentation here, go over to watch more of my videos on my channel. So questions we'll ask and answer at the end. I'm going to show you a couple of pictures now. We'll get straight into it. Firstly, there's this picture here, which we can have a little bit of a discussion here about this. So you can see a big guy, a muscular guy who is about to lift some very heavy weights. And it looks like he's going to do the deadlift here. So a muscular guy, he's going to lift heavy weights and it looks like he's going to do a deadlift. Now, if you want to learn vocabulary and phrases related to working out, then I made a video on that recently. So check my channel for that. So a very muscular guy about to lift weights. No, this is not me. This is not me. And then we also have another guy here who isn't as muscular. He's more toned. He has his shirt off here, but you can see the difference between them. This guy, who we are going to call person B, and this guy, who we are going to call person A. So we can see the difference in terms of muscles. And just a quick question about this. Which one can lift more weight? So which one can lift heavier weights? This guy or this guy? Okay, just think about that question because it's going to be important for us. And I'm going to talk about why this is relevant when it comes to learning English too. Because a lot of people try to do too much too soon with their English instead of doing what they should be doing right now in order to improve. So again, we have this guy, if you're just joining, he's muscular, he's about to lift heavy weights, and this guy who isn't as muscular as the other guy. Now you can call him probably skinny or, I mean, he's toned, but he's not as muscular as this guy. Okay. And before we get too ahead, we have some vocabulary to put on muscle, which means to gain muscle. So if you put on muscle, it means you have more muscles than before. And this is the phrasal verb that we use to put on muscle. We also have workout versus workout. The first one is a noun, a good workout. I'm going to have a workout later. And the second one is a phrasal verb, to work out. The next one is to challenge yourself. Okay, to challenge yourself. And then if something is doable. Okay, if something is doable, which means you can do it if it is doable. Let's go to the chat quickly. Denise says, yeah, the guy with the muscles, this is what I wanted to get across. So when we are looking at these two pictures, this guy can lift more weights than this guy based on what we can see. Now, think about this in terms of learning English. If you see somebody speaking English really well, you know that this person can speak good English. And then if you see another person who is struggling, they can't form sentences, they don't understand things, you know this person isn't as good with English as the other person. So you can base assumptions, or you can understand where people are based on what you see and hear. So the muscular guy, this guy we know can lift a lot of weights, because the stronger you are, the more muscle you have. This is not completely perfect, but just basically, or in a summary, the stronger you are, the more muscle you have. Okay? So that's why the world's strongest men have big muscles. They can lift a lot of weights. And in order to build muscles, you need to be able to lift heavy weights. Okay, so I've got an example here. Person A, this guy, can lift 100 pounds. So when he's doing an exercise, he can lift 100 pounds, let's say on the bench press. But person B can lift 500 pounds. I'll change that to 350 because 500 pounds on the bench press is a lot. I'll change this to 350. Okay. So person A can lift 100 pounds. Person B can lift 350 pounds. This is important to think about when we are going to talk about how this relates to learning English, because how do you get from 100 pounds to 350 pounds? How do you get from lifting 100 to 350? You don't just go and try to lift 350 pounds straight away. Instead, you make progress. You progress towards that. You take different steps. For example, workout 1 might be 105 pounds, workout 2, 110, and workout 3, 115. The rate of progress is quick in the beginning. This is important. So most people, when they start something new, this might be learning the guitar, working out, learning a language. The progress in the beginning seems to be much quicker. When you reach an intermediate level, then the rate of progress seems to slow down. A lot of people say, I've reached the intermediate plateau. I am stuck at an intermediate level. But a couple of things on this. Firstly, what you do when you're intermediate is different to what you do as a beginner. And also, we don't always see ourselves progressing. So we don't always see ourselves making the progress we think we're making. Okay, so with all that in mind, if you are enjoying this lesson so far, click that like button and just leave a quick comment in the chat. A quick comment in the chat. And also, if you see that join button, click join and become a Fluency member here on YouTube. And you can also send in a super chat if you want to support the channel too. Okay, so a very quick summary of what we have learned so far. We have a muscular guy. We have a guy who isn't muscular. But the stronger you are, the more muscle you have. So the stronger you are, the more muscle you have. Now, person A can lift 100 pounds, person B can lift 350. And the key question is how to get from 100 pounds to 350 pounds. Well, workout 1, you go from 105 pounds, workout 2, 110, workout 3, 115. Now, the next workout might be something like 117.5. And then the next one is 120. And then 121. 122, and your rate of progress may slow down as you become more of an intermediate learner or lifter or whatever it is you're doing. It might be playing the guitar. Your rate of progress might slow down. So Lolly says, yes, I am stuck. And Frishta says, how to continue practice. Lolly also says, practice makes perfect. Yeah. Now, this is the key thing here, okay? Ricardo also says, I'm intermediate level and I can't become better. So this is a very common thing, okay? People are talking about this. It's a very common thing. When you get to an intermediate level, it might seem like you're not getting better, but maybe you are, firstly. And also, secondly, maybe you're trying to do things that are too advanced too soon. Because what I want to see people do when it comes to all of this, and what works, and I've learned this in my own life, is to challenge yourself, but make it doable. Challenge yourself, but make it doable. Okay? So, when we're looking at this workout, if you can lift 105 pounds 1 week, the next week, you should be able to lift 110 pounds. That is doable. It's still a challenge though, because you have to work hard to do it, and also you're lifting more than you lifted last week. So when you challenge yourself, it's important to make it doable. This is the key part. Okay, this is the key part. When it comes to learning English, you want to have this mentality too, where you challenge yourself, but you make it doable. What a lot of people want to do at that intermediate level is go straight to listening to natural English, watching movies in English, and watching TV shows in English. And what happens is this: if you can't understand those movies, if you can't understand the TV shows, then you're not being a really efficient learner. You're not doing the things you need to do now for your level. Okay? It's a little bit like this. If somebody can lift 100 pounds, but then they go straight to 150, they're going to just get stuck here and they don't do a workout. They don't make progress. And it can be the same if you try to do things that are too advanced when it comes to learning English, because there's something called the input hypothesis method, where you take your level and you go just a little bit higher. Okay, and soon I'm going to talk about things that you can do in order to do this. So what we want to do instead is to think about how we can challenge ourselves, but make it doable, make it attainable, and so that we can have constant progress. Okay, so that constant progress, so that we're constantly improving as we go. The first stage to this is to know your English level and to be honest with your English level. So it's to know where you are right now, to think about, okay, am I an intermediate level? Do I have a beginner level when it comes to speaking? Where am I right now? Because we all want that higher level. We all want to race to that level and jump there. But instead, I want to see you taking small steps to get to the level where you want to be. And hopefully this lifting 100 pounds, 112, 115, 117, 120 over 4 weeks helps you understand that you can't just race from 100 to 350. The same with the English. You can't just race, you can't sprint from intermediate to advanced unless you have lots of time during the day. You go to an English-speaking country, maybe that helps. You surround yourself in English constantly and you work 10 hours a day, okay? Most people don't have that. Instead, what we want to do is to make that slow but consistent progress to an advanced level. And over a year, this is possible. This is possible over a year. So to go back to this, it's important to know your English level now and to be honest with yourself. Because if you know your level, then you can get the right type of learning resources and do the right types of things for you. Whereas if you go straight to an advanced level with lifting, you won't be able to lift the weight. Whereas in English, if you go straight to an advanced level, you won't understand things. So we want to make those smaller steps to where we want to be. Lolly says, I understand the metaphor, which is important. Yeah, because this is what I'm trying to get across. I'm trying to explain the importance of this. Okay, so going back to this. The next key point is this. Do things that will help you. Okay, do things that will help you. I'll talk about what those things are soon. And don't try to go too advanced too soon. So don't try to get too advanced too soon. And what you need to work on is different to what someone who has a higher level needs to work on. So if you are an intermediate level, what you're doing is different to what people who have an advanced level do. Does that make sense? Just say a quick yes in the chat if that makes sense. People are saying they understand what I'm talking about here. But everyone's saying they have that same problem, that they feel they're intermediate, but they want to become advanced. So it's about becoming advanced. It's about what you need to do to reach that level. Okay, while I'm waiting for those things to come in, I'm just going to take a quick sip of water and I will be right back. Okay, I am back, everybody. So people are saying yes in the chat. Happy Chacha and Minu. We've got Roderick from Reunion Island. Great to have you here. And Edward from Venezuela asking, how can I know my English level? So a few years ago, I made a video on this, on how you can evaluate your own level of English. But also just look for some free English tests online. The issue with those is that they tend to be testing your ability to do grammar and to do multiple choice exams. If you can find a teacher, that teacher can evaluate you as well. So that's another way to do it, is to get an evaluation from a teacher. But it's important to know your level, and you can evaluate yourself too. So let's talk about some of the things we can do in order to get to the level where we want to be. I think there are two great things to talk about, and I'll just go back to this because I made a video on the two things to focus on in this video, which is to listen a lot and to use the Fluency method. So after this, have a look at these two things, because I think that these two things are the most important things to focus on, which is where you're listening to a lot of English and also you're following the Fluency method. So the first one, listen a lot. And this is where I think graded readers are so important, okay? I'm going to put them in the comment section here. Graded readers. This is where you can find audiobooks in English that have been adapted to your level. So when it comes to input, graded readers are fantastic for this. You can take something that is at a B1 or B2 level and then learn from there. Because when we're learning stuff, it's so important that we take those steps in order to understand things. This means the same thing for vocabulary, grammar, every sentence structure. So if you have a B1 level, find books that are B1. Find books that have audio too, because listening is such a vital skill to focus on. And then learn new words and phrases. Okay? Learn new words and phrases. And then the second thing is the Fluency method, where if you go to my channel homepage, it's the first video you see, where I talk about how to use flashcards in order to build your vocabulary up every day. So watch that video too. It's really going to help you. Those are the two things. So when you're listening a lot, listen to things that you can understand, but things that are going to just challenge you a little bit. So when you learn new words and phrases, when somebody is talking about something you understand, but is talking at a normal speed, or when people are using new words and phrases, but you can understand what they're saying from the context. So the context is so important. Excuse me. So context with this is so important. If you can understand the context of something, then you can better understand it. Another example of context is if you're watching TV shows, to watch TV shows that you've already seen in your native language. So I always give the example of Friends. If you've watched Friends in your native language, then watch it in English because you understand what is happening. The same with movies as well. Another thing you can do is watch the news, because the news talks about issues that you probably already know about. Coronavirus, for example, the US election, all those types of things. Then what you can do is take that knowledge of what you already know, and then it gives it such a strong context. Such a strong context. Okay? So I think those two things are really important. But if you just think, okay, I'm going to watch movies in English. I'm going to have really tough conversations with people. I'm going to listen to podcasts that are really difficult to understand. It's going to be too difficult for you to learn anything new and to really benefit your English. And you're also going to get frustrated and give up learning. I've talked about why people give up learning, and it's because they get frustrated with their English. So that's a really important thing. We can also take a skill, because Juanita has a question, how do I overcome mental block when speaking? So we can also take a skill like speaking and think about how we can build up our speaking abilities. We can start with talking to somebody who has patience, who is going to help us, like a teacher. So you can take your time to really think about what you want to say. You can speak to Siri or to the Google equivalent, where you can practice your speaking to a robot. You can find friends who are willing to spend that time with you so that you can practice your speaking and feel more comfortable with it. All those types of things can really help when it comes to improving your speaking. Okay, I'm going to answer some questions now. Some people have some questions about the Graham Norton show. Why Graham Norton show makes me more difficult to listen? Or you could say, why is the Graham Norton show difficult to listen to? So this is difficult to listen to because it's an adult chat show where people are constantly telling stories, but they're using language that might be a little bit more informal, and it's advanced. So they're using advanced language, or they're using words and phrases that are funny. There's comedy in there. People have different accents on that show. So it's more difficult to understand than, let's say, a graded reader or one of my lessons. Because my lessons, they talk about learning English in the way that you're going to understand the language being used. So it's important to think about it in that way. A lot of people are saying that they feel they are stuck at an intermediate level. Okay, that they're stuck at an intermediate level. Now, like I said before, I don't think a lot of people are. Think of progress being more like, if you learn a new word or phrase, then you've improved your English. If you listen to one of my videos, then you've improved your English in some way. You've got more experience listening. Think about it more in those things where you look at what is important to learn English, what methods work, and as you use those methods, your English is constantly improving. An issue is this. Because you're improving every day, it's hard to notice the improvements you make. Okay? It's the same again with weightlifting. You don't just see a difference from one week to the next. You don't even notice a difference sometimes, unless what you do is you take pictures and you record your level. So what you can do is take a test with the teacher, and then 3 months later, take another test. And they're going to see some progress with you. They're going to see that you have actually progressed. Another important part here is to work on your pronunciation too. Now, I'll just leave a link here. My Fluency program has a full section on this where I take you through the sounds of English, the difficult vowel sounds, the schwa, relaxed pronunciation, connected speech, the schwa, tongue twisters, so that you can actually break it down and work on these different things. And that's where you're going to see a big difference, because if you actually focus on things like pronunciation and how to say the words and the sounds of English, you're going to see big differences. You can say, okay, I can make that vowel sound now. I can make that consonant sound. I can use connected speech in a way that really helps. So those are the types of things that you're going to really notice when you're improving. But a lot of the times, you're just not going to see it. You won't see the difference between yesterday and today, but you will have made some improvement. So Juanita says, what's the next step to C1 if you're B2? Find things that you can understand and listen to, and do lots of listening. Continue working using the Fluency method. So continue learning through sentences. Continue working on your pronunciation. The key is, though, when we're talking about what you do differently as a beginner, intermediate, and advanced, is the type of English that you have for input. The books you read, the movies you watch, etc. The words and phrases that you learn as well is different. So as you progress to a higher level, the sentence structures become more complex. They are more challenging, but you're still learning words and phrases. You're still using the same methods. I've been improving my English a lot this year, but I never know if I'll understand someone in a specific situation. It's lack of confidence and skills, of course, in some way. What can you say about it? Yeah, this is why it's also important to test and to know where you are, to know what level you have right now, and then what level you have in 3 months. And then think about, okay, how much time can I spend learning English every day, and how quickly do I want to progress? But think about it in terms of, what level do I want in 6 months from now or a year from now? And then you can take the steps in order to reach that. So I'm just looking at my camera. The battery's a little bit low. I'm quite good at self-talk, but when I speak with people, why my English vocab is always blank. Yeah, this happens a lot. Speaking is a hard skill. Think of it this way, okay? Let's say you practice playing soccer and you practice kicking the ball into the goal, and you're there, you kick the ball into the goal, you kick the ball into the goal, and you can do it. But then you play a game, you're in a similar situation, you kick it and you miss the goal completely. This happens because you can't take practice and make it as perfect as you are when you're actually doing something. So in a game, there are people who are trying to stop you. You feel pressure. You don't have as much time. You have to do this quickly. You're thinking of other things you have to do. When you're having conversations, you feel the pressure. You don't have a lot of time to think about what words to use. You're thinking about what the other person is saying at the same time. You're thinking about, am I saying this properly? So there are other things going on that make it more difficult. What I think is important is that you take the practice and then you get practice. You get the practice in speaking environments. That's like playing games, where you get the practice of playing games, and the more experience you have, the better you are at it. Okay, I'm going to do some more questions. I don't have too much time before my camera dies, unfortunately. Can you please tell me which British accent you're talking? Yeah, it's a northern British accent, but it's more neutral because I've been abroad, been away from the UK for over 12 years, 13 years now. So after living in America for 10 years, it's a little bit more neutral. And also as an English teacher, it becomes more neutral too. My problem is I can't find someone in my native area that's native, and I feel upset. So look online, pay for a teacher online, join language exchanges, do those types of things. You can always find someone online. Now, people are saying about vocabulary, how to learn new words and phrases. After this lesson, go to my channel page, okay? Become a Fluency member. More people are joining. We're going to have some exciting things that are going to happen with the YouTube memberships on the channel. But then also watch that video on the homepage. You're going to find a great video on the homepage that talks about how to learn new vocabulary. Let's see. I'm doing okay for now. When I talk in English, especially with native speakers, sometimes I forget a lot of words. Do you have a suggestion? Yeah, I just talked about that, where it's going to happen because you feel that stress and pressure. And you also have to think about other things too, about how you speak, about what the person is saying. So there's a lot of things going on where it's not as easy, but build that up slowly and get practice with that. Okay. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to end the lesson in a moment. If you've not liked this lesson, click that thumbs up. It really helps me. Also, share this video with a friend. So just click that share button, send it to a group on WhatsApp, share it on Facebook, share it on Twitter, and then tag me if you share it on Twitter. And then become a member, to Fluency member. There's some perks for the basic membership and also the full membership. I'm going to add more of those perks as more people join. So the more people that join, the more stuff I'm going to add, including some exclusive videos on my phone for the top membership. Okay, so like the video, share the video, and become a member today. Thank you everyone for being here. Go to my channel after this video and watch some more of my content. Okay, I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.